Last time on Conquest of Dovah, the adventurers are woke in their room within the Cannabis Cafe and Inn. Malicos was in the room with them as well, having found his way to Vecni and her allies once again. Sorin rose from his rest, feeling more powerful and intelligent than he was before. Vecni, who woke up before the others, read her manual of quickness of action for a bit. Malicos and Bharrik became acquainted, as this was their first time meeting one another. Malicos first thought Bharrik was the deceased dwarf, Trogdor Dragonbane, as he thought all dwarves looked alike and could not tell the difference between the two at first. Vecni, hoping to avoid Norse Berserker, the shopkeeper she stole from, urged the rest of the party to return to the bog. Vecni, Sorin, Bharrik, and Malicos exited the doghouse and pushed northwards into unexplored sections of the swamp, with Bharrik leading the group. Dexter scouted an area where Sorin previously observed gray-skinned humanoid creatures, giant snakes, giant toads, giant crocodiles, and swarms of insects through his familiar's eyes. Those creatures were not present at this time, but there were humanoid corpses laying in the area instead, slowly sinking into the muck. The corpses wore Forte colors, and there were Forte banners laid down near the dead men. As the group got closer to the corpses, Bharrik observed deceased lizard folk amongst the dead Forte soldiers as well. These lizard folk donned red and yellow clothing and armor, as well as the Frank sigil, a red lizard claw printed on a yellow background. Two gray-skinned humanoid creatures with iguana-like heads, long-fingered clawed hands, sharp teeth, and tails were hunched over the corpses. The beasts were feeding on the dead, gnawing on bone and munching on flesh. The adventurers discussed what to do. Vecni considered climbing a tree and traversing through the dense treetops, while Bharrik suggested hugging the thick brush and sneaking past the beasts. Vecni crept closer to the creatures and climbed a tree, taking cover behind it. She drew out her bow and notched her arrow. Looking over to the others for approval, Sorin gave the elven pirate a nod. Vecni drew back on her bowstring and whispered to her old crewmate, "Malicos, ready your bow." Malicos quickly climbed the tree, then immediately drew out his bow, notched an arrow, and drew back on the string. Both adventurers made hidden ranged attacks from behind the tree. Malicos launched a sneak attack arrow at one of the gray creatures, while Vecni fired a quick 2-arrow barrage of her own, leading with a Kensai shot. The 3 arrows punctured through the beast's back, one after another, in rapid succession. The creature fell dead, face first, into the group of deceased soldiers. Vecni fired an arrow at the second gray-skinned creature. The arrowhead pierced into the beast's chest, plunging into its heart, and the monster toppled over dead. Malicos casted mage armor on himself immediately after his foe dropped into the muck, realizing he should have casted it before he engaged in battle. Sorin searched the Forte corpses and found a healing potion on one of the deceased. Vecni examined them and determined these Forte soldiers were not a part of Harshal's group, the man who they met in the bog shortly after she and Sorin first arrived, 7 days prior. Vecni recovered a short sword from the corpse of a deceased Frank lizardman. While she and her allies looted the dead, Vecni detected 8 more of the gray-skinned creatures stalking her group, hidden in brush and behind trees. She also realized there were thick swarms of flies in the brush as well, staying hidden from the adventurers. Vecni alerted her allies to the danger all around them. The group briefly discussed their options, luring the beasts out to slay them or attempting to escape. Vecni kept a close eye on the creatures, who sank back into the shadows. Sorin realized the beasts were intimidated by his group after witnessing their strength and were not a threat. Vecni misliked this, as the creatures would likely trail behind her party as the adventurers continued north, but Malicos and Sorin were not worried, considering the beasts too weak to be of concern. With Vecni on point, the adventurers pushed north, then west through an opening in the trees. They entered an area with another small pond, which will require some swimming to cross. Vecni observed the following in the pond. 2 crocodiles in the water, fairly close to their position. A small landing past the crocs, another crocodile past the landing, then another landing, this one much larger. Upon the last landing was a group of soldiers wearing Forte colors. Some of the men held banners bearing the Forte sigil. The soldiers had their backs to their adventurers, focused on a large cage behind them. The cage contained 2 lizardfolk prisoners. Vecni noticed a man poking and prodding lizard folk through their cage. At first, he thought it was Karagonda, but Vecni quickly realized this man was much larger than the Forte leader. This man wore a heavy red hauberk and looked familiar to Vecni and Sorin. Vecni recalled seeing him near the mayor's office when Honesty played a song near the gallows, outing she and Sorin in Vigor Valley City just prior to Sorin meeting Odoacer. In front of the city hall, the party observed rows and rows of Forte soldiers. The rows appeared to be assembled behind 3 separate, distinct leaders. An armored man wearing Forte colors. He had uncombed, poofy orange hair and a patchy, greasy-looking orange beard. He was missing one of his front teeth. There was an enormous man in a heavy red hauberk. And there was the tiefling assassin, Salvatore, that the group met in the Vigor Valley city sewers. There were 3 separate legions of soldiers outside the mayor's office, each led by a different Forte leader, which consisted of Salvatore, Harshal, and this third unknown warrior. Vecni and Sorin briefly discussed how to proceed. Vecni stated she didn't particularly want to speak with these men. Sorin nonchalantly quipped he could easily murder the entire legion of soldiers. Malicos excitedly whispered, "Fireball." Sorin answered, "No, not Fireball. Something much stronger." "Fireball is broken enough. What could be stronger than that?" Vecni asked. Sorin shook his head and smiled, preparing his new spell. Vecni drew out her bow, notched an arrow, and aimed at the large man with the heavy red hauberk. Meanwhile, Malicos hid in some nearby brush, planning to attack anyone who showed hostility towards his allies. Sorin casted sickening radiance over the pond. Dim, greenish light descended upon the battlefield, covering 2 of the crocodiles and every Forte soldier. The spell's effect did not reach the 2 imprisoned lizard folk or any of the adventurers, however. The large man with the heavy red hauberk began to feel the effects of Sorin's spell, but he willed himself to resist the ability. The man plunged into the water and began to make his way towards the adventurers, stopping before the set of 2 crocodiles. Vecni fired an arrow at her heavily armored foe, but the arrowhead bounced off his armor, leaving him completely unharmed. Bharrik readied his axe, planning to swing it at his armored opponent if the man came within range of the dwarven paladin from Ironbridge. The greenish light washed dimly over the 10 Forte soldiers near the caged lizard folk. 8 of the soldiers suffered considerable radiant damage and became exhausted from the effects of the spell. The remaining 2 warriors resisted Sorin's magic. The 10 soldiers entered the pond and began to make their way towards their attackers. Due to the exhaustion, 8 of the men had disadvantage while trying to swim through the area. 8 of the Forte soldiers failed to effectively swim through the pond towards their prey, and they began to sink. The remaining 2 men swam towards Sorin, Vecni, Bharrik, and Malicos. The soldier in front delivered a combination attack on a crocodile that stood in his way. His blade danced in the air and sliced through the creature twice, killing it. Malicos fired an arrow at the soldier that killed the crocodile. The arrowhead sank into the man's ribs, activating sneak attack and dealing considerable damage. Malicos grabbed one of Vecni's breasts to give her encouragement, then hid in a bush again. Vecni entered the pond and used Step of the Wind to move quickly through the water. She drew out Ignis and hurled it at a Forte soldier towards the back. Her magic javelin soared towards her target, leaving a trail of lightning magic behind, damaging a crocodile and several Forte soldiers. Ignis slammed into the man-at-arms Vecni aimed at, dealing tremendous damage. The soldier's knees wobbled, but he retained his composure and still stood, able to fight. Man, that guy's tough, Vecni thought to herself. Sorin used his telekinesis to push the heavily armed man backwards 5 feet. Then, the young wizard casted Tasha's Mind Whip on the large warrior. The spell appeared extra effective against the heavily armored Forte member, and Sorin's magic lessened the man's competence in battle for a brief time. Sorin's sickening radiance continued to wash over the man with the heavy red hauberk. The man continued to resist the effects of Sorin's radiant magic, but Sorin casted silvery barbs, which forced his foe to take radiant damage from the spell and become exhausted. Sorin observed the radiant damage appeared extra effective against this opponent. The heavy armored warrior moved through the water and pushed through the outer limits of Sorin's spell, escaping the dim green radiant light. Bharrik flung himself into the pond. Even with his heavy chainmail, he swam out near Vecni and lifted his axe. Bharrik readied his weapon, intending on striking out at any hostiles that approached his elven pirate companion. Radiant magic burned through the skin and internal organs of one of the Forte soldiers. The man screamed in excruciating pain before collapsing dead in Epona's bog. Another Forte soldier fired 2 arrows at Vecni, but missed with both as she easily turned and twisted her body to avoid them. Dim green light swirled around the other Forte soldiers, searing some of them with divine radiant magic. The soldiers struggled to swim in the pond, slowly drowning. The 8 gray-skinned creatures from earlier finally made their move, and came up behind the adventurers, pincering them between the Forte soldiers and themselves. One of the beasts opened its mouth, exposing sharp teeth, and bit down hard on Sorin's upper back. The creature then slashed Sorin twice on the back, leaving shallow, mostly superficial wounds. Sorin's magic mixed with bog gas and formed a twisting green mist. The gas encircled the 2 living crocodiles in the pond and peeled apart their reptilian scales, melting away the beast's skin and disintegrating their organs. The husks of the deceased crocodiles sunk into the murky pond and disappeared. Malicos readied his ice knife spell, planning to hurl his cold magic into a cluster of gray-skinned beasts once one of them walked past him. Vecni drew out her whip and lashed out at the heavily armored man twice, striking him with both attacks. She infused ki into both strikes, attempting to stunning strike him, but he resisted her both times. Sorin used his telekinesis to push the man with the heavy red halberd backwards, but the soldier pushed with all his might against Sorin's psychic powers and resisted being shoved. Sorin turned and launched a fireball at the gray-skinned creatures behind him. Malicos did a combat roll through the brush, utilizing uncanny dodge to escape the flames, but still took some fire damage. All 8 of the gray-skinned creatures were torched and burned alive by Sorin's fire magic. All that remained of the beasts was their smoking skeletal frames. The man with the heavy red halberd slashed Vecni twice with his great axe. The blows were glancing, and Vecni suffered minimal damage from the man's huge weapon. Bharrik casted Thunderous Smite, charging his great axe with thunder magic. He swung at the man in heavy red armor with all his might, slashing him down his chest. The Thunderous Might was released, and the magic reverberated throughout the bog, disturbing many of the animals living there. The man planted his feet and resisted being pushed back by the smite, but Sorin casted silvery barbs, forcing the soldier to fall 10 feet backwards, splashing into the pond and re-entering the area of effect for Sorin's sickening radiance. Bharrik advanced on his downed foe and raised his axe up high into the air. Bharrik's axe blade stuck deep into the fallen man's chest, channeling radiant divine power and delivering an extra effective divine smite. The green radiant gas swirled through the battlefield, burning and peeling the skin off the remaining 9 Forte soldiers. The men raised their hands and stared in horror as their skin fell from their extremities and their fingers fell off. The men let off painful, horrific screams as they collapsed, melting before each of them expired. The man with the heavy red halberd looked up from laying on his back to see Vecni bring her whip down upon his exposed throat. The barbs of her whip sunk into his jugular and tore his neck apart as she pulled back on her whip. spraying blood all over Bharrik and into the pond, causing the wounded man to quickly bleed out. Malicos searched the corpses of the dead Forte soldiers looking for arrows, and he found 30. Vecni and Malicos searched the heavily armored man, finding a great axe, the red hauberk with a Forte sigil in the chest, and a spellbook. Malicos gave the hauberk to Bharrik, who donned his fallen foe's armor.
Sorin approached the two lizard folk prisoners locked in a cage. He recognized one of the lizardmen, a smaller lizard folk wearing a brown cloak, as Gendy. Sorin and Vecni met Gendy in Lorgan's tavern some time ago. The other lizard folk was wearing yellow armor and appeared to be a female. The female lizard folk addressed Sorin with a murder and began speaking to him in a strange dialect of Draconic. It quickly became apparent she could not speak any common at all. Malicos, who was standing nearby, spoke proper Draconic and could understand the female's words. Malicos and the female lizard folk spoke for a bit. The female looked like a warrior, wearing yellow chainmail and armed with a spear, but Malicos found her attractive, considering her a 7 out of 10. She thanked the human for rescuing she and Gendy. The female, Urza, explained she and her allies were at war with Forte, and her group lost a battle nearby, where she and Gendy were captured. Malicos remarked that while only Urza and Gendy survived, at least her compatriots were avenged by his party. She asked where the rest of the lizard folk were. Urza advised Malicos her people lived on Comet Mountain, to the north. She spoke of the leader of Frank, Snorian, stating he was a great warrior and leader, adding he should rule the kingdom of Dovah. Malicos picked the lock to the cage containing Urza and Gendy, freeing them. In a raspy, sinister voice, spoken in common, Gendy asked Vecni, Malicos, and Sorin if they completed the mission he gave them. He had asked one of them use the dagger with Blackwing's sigil to murder a Forte soldier and leave the weapon stuck in the soldier's corpse to frame Blackwing and Chaos. Sorin answered they did so, prior to leaving Vigor Valley City. Gendy thanked Sorin for the good service he provided. Malicos asked Gendy if he and Urza would like to travel with their party to Ifrai, and he agreed. Gendy thanked Malicos for saving he and his companions from the foolish human softskins, showing great disdain and disgust for the human race.
Yes, humans are disgusting, Malicos quipped. Gendy beckoned the party to follow him to a fry, where Snorian would reward them. Malicos and the others agreed. Malicos became suspicious of the deceased man of Forte, that, while living, wore Bharrik's new armor. He investigated the dead man and the armor, determining the hauberk was adorned with abyssal glyphs that granted the user certain powers, but made him vulnerable to radiant magic. While Bharrik fretted over whether or not to remove his new armor, Vecni took a swig from her water skin filled with bourbon. She passed the skin over to Malicos, amused at Bharrik's predicament. Sorin ritual casted Identify on Bharrik's red hauberk and learned it was cursed. Trying to remove the armor would cause damage to the wearer. Attuning to the hauberk would grant the user a +1 to strength and a -1 to intelligence. Sorin casted Dispel Magic on the hauberk, ending the item's curse and magical properties. Bharrik drew out his pale pink axe and scraped off the Forte sigil on the chest of his new armor. Then he cut the flowing red cape off the back of the armor so he didn't accidentally trip on it during battle. Gendy and Urza led the adventurers north through the bog, where they exited out of the tree line. The group entered a warm area. They observed north was a path through hills, then eventually mountains in the distance. This region looked like it became quite steep, constantly elevating as one progressed north. The adventurers surmised that they would be required to scale a mountain to follow the path all the way to the summit, where the lizardfolk village of Ifrai, the stronghold of the faction called Frank, was supposedly located. Urza and Gendy began to follow the path north. Before the adventurers followed after them, Vecni, Sorin, Bharrik, and Malicos heard something coming from the west. The sound was an intense rumbling noise, followed by an audible explosion. A flash of light seared into the sky from the west, blinding the adventurers for a moment. The rumbling continued for a few seconds more, then ceased. Bharrik immediately realized the sound and bright light came from the direction of the Kingdom of Ironbridge and his village, Stoneview. Bharrik found an explosion coming from the direction of his home to be very queer and quite concerning. The Kingdom of Ironbridge was quite far from Epona's Bog, and the adventurers could not see anything of note in the distance when looking west. Sorin did not seem concerned with the fate of Bharrik's home. Vecni took another swig of bourbon from her water skin and offered it to her dwarven companion. Bharrik took a hearty drink from the skin. Malicos asked Urza in Draconic if explosions like that were commonplace. Urza answered it wasn't, but she did not care about Stoneview or Ironbridge and wanted to continue on to Comet Mountain. Malicos asked Bharrik if he had any family in the direction of the sound, adding he believed the sound may have been an intense explosion with enough power to level a city. Bharrik gruffly answered, "The family I protect is there." "I've been through genocide before. It sucks, but you'll get over it," Vecni remarked. Bharrik advised the group they should go west to check on his village. Malicos agreed with Bharrik and spoke on his behalf to convince Sorin and Vecni of the same. Vecni did not care about Stoneview and the Ironbridge Kingdom. Instead, she wanted to travel to Afrai to obtain a key needed to bypass Pridecutter Keep so she could pursue the misfit bastards to Cutthroat's docks and rescue Prince. After a bit more discussion, Vecni and Sorin decided they would continue north to Afrai. Vecni pulled out Qual's feather token and tossed it into the air. Her item summoned a rock-like bird capable of carrying her entire party while moving at half speed. Malicos and Sorin affectionately called this creature the Slay Queen Pridebird, as it was multicolored and majestic. Gendy, Urza, Vecni, Sorin, Malicos, and Bharrik boarded the Slay Queen Pridebird and flew north. Bharrik craned his neck west, hoping to catch a glimpse of his village and its current state, but he was unable to see such a great distance away. Further north, the adventurers made some observations about the mountains up ahead. They saw multiple paths, animals, birds, and bustling wildlife. Further still, the adventurers observed a small village comprised of tents on the summit of the largest mountain. Whilst riding the Slay Queen Pridebird, Vecni began reading her manual of quickness of action, while Bharrik fretted over how to convince the rest of his group to detour to Stoneview. Bharrik once again made a case for the group to turn west towards Stoneview. He explained he had been protecting the Dragonbane family for a long time, and with Trogdor's recent passing, his strength was needed in Stoneview now more than ever. Malicos spoke on Bharrik's behalf again, persuasively convincing Vecni and Sorin to help Bharrik. Vecni ordered her rainbow bird to turn west in the direction of the Ironbridge Kingdom. The adventurers rode atop the Slay Queen Pridebird for miles to investigate the origin of the explosion and bright light. Before long, they could see a village in the distance, which Bharrik recognized as his home, Stoneview. Stoneview was a modest mining village filled with small homes and hovels populated by dwarves. The families in Stoneview once resided in Ironbridge Castle, but after many years of wars and fighting with surrounding threats, the Dragonbane family and others fled and established Stoneview. Bharrik had long served as the protector of the Dragonbane family line. Bharrik observed Stoneview appeared unharmed, surmising the loud explosion must have come from somewhere else, likely Ironbridge Castle, far in the distance much further west. Bharrik observed white smoke rising into the sky where Ironbridge Castle was located. Malicos surveyed the rising white smoke and remarked, "They are probably roasting a giant pig, or a dragon." Vecni asked Bharrik how the pubs, bars, and saloons were in Ironbridge. Bharrik answered Stoneview had a superior bar called the Firebrew Inn, which was often frequented by a talented gnomish bard. Vecni suspected this gnomish bard was Honesty, which Bharrik confirmed. Bharrik added King Groudlam Ironbridge and his queen, Tanaday, would reward the group richly if they did good service upon arriving in the kingdom.
Welcome back to another episode of Power Word nerd.
We're like resting on this trip, right? I don't think we did already establish that.
You would be able to rest.
Okay.
You've already been flying for I think an hour. So the orientation of this map is not north is up, west left is west. So straight up will be west. That make sense to you guys?
Sure. Okay.
That's the direction you guys were going. Off the map,
Do you have
down.
a black magic marker? We just right north, south, east, and west on this. So that means Comet Mountain is east. No, because that means the other place to be south. That's how direction works.
So
I skipped that day of school, okay?
So from off this map, right, Opponent's Bog would be southwest. I'm sorry, it'd be down and to the left. So let's say if this was north, which it's not, Opponent's Bog would be southwest. So it'd be down and to the left. You guys are traveling up this way, which would be north, through Opponent's Bog. You guys got to an area that would be down below where Stoneview is. You guys flew 8 miles west, which would be up. I know. I should have put a compass. I didn't. It makes it a lot easier.
Fucking amateur.
There's a marker somewhere.
Fucking rookie.
Isn't there? There's a marker somewhere, guys.
I don't know, man.
Just from talking beyond the up and up.
Oh, here we go. Sustained commitments level again.
Here, go ahead. Put it. So west is up.
Alright, so we're gonna do this right order, so. Yeah.
So west is up.
West.
Yep.
So
North is this way. Yep.
So this is
There you
the
go.
east.
East. Yep.
East and south.
That makes it so much easier.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. So, from here, Opponent's Bog is southeast.
Southeast, okay.
You guys went north through Opponent's Bog. You approached Comet Mountain, which is, it still keeps going, right? Then you guys flew 8 miles about 8 miles west. You guys are right a little bit east of Stoneview right now.
Okay.
And this is where you guys stopped, and you guys didn't know where you wanted to go.
Okay.
And that's how we ended it.
So I guess we can stop at Stoneview then?
I will also say that walking, so you guys fly about 8 miles an hour. So I'm going to say that walking, this is going from Stoneview to Ironbridge is a full day's walk, half a day flying.
Okay, so I don't know how this bird works.
In one day, it's on the Discord. In one day, that bird disappears and it's gone.
So
It's a one-use item.
one use items after 24 hours.
Yep.
Okay.
So after one day, that bird's gone.
Okay, so how long did it take us to get here from the time we casted it?
I think a couple hours, right?
I believe 1 hour, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe
so
two.
Then, so then
maybe
we
2
didn't,
hours.
So then we didn't long rest, because long rest would be 8 hours.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think 1 hour.
That's why I asked, because it's really important, so.
You've not been traveling long.
Okay.
So you're drama an hour.
Did
You-
Kevin
yeah,
give
so-
this thing a name?
I don't believe he named it. It's the mechanics of it are on Discord. You do have 2 lizard folk on the bird with you, so it's the 4 of you, right? Wasn't Don with you guys? I think. I think he was. So it's Malikos, Bharrik, Sorin, Vecni, and then you rescue 2 lizard folk. A female named Urza, and a small male with a brown cloak named Gendy, who you guys also spoke with in Lorgan's Tavern.
Alright, so I'm not going to name this bird, but what does it kind of look like? It's like a rainbow kind of bird?
Yeah.
Would you say it's like I mean, obviously it's a big bird,
It's large size. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But does it
It
have
can hold
like,
1,000 pounds, I believe.
Okay. I would want to say this thing looks kind of like Zapdos kind of thing.
Zapdos from Pokemon.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Yeah. Right? It has like longer legs so it can stand and walk, but it's all like. Hell, we'll even name it Zapdos. Fuck it. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we'll stop off at Stoneview.
And we found out that Stoneview wasn't the area that got that bright light, correct?
So the area where that explosion came from, it's further to the west of Stoneview.
Yeah,
It's
so-
still further away.
Pine Dusk Peaks, Mage Tower, or Ironbridge Castle?
It would be that direction. One of them would be somewhere down
Okay,
that
but
way.
we don't know. Okay.
What exactly are you guys doing? Are you gonna land in the city, land outside the city?
So is Stoneview
It's like a
a city,
town.
or is Stoneview a tavern?
So basically, Stoneview is this modest village of homes, hovels, maybe some larger buildings that could be businesses of some kind. The architecture is very dwarven, but also very basic. It doesn't have that majestic dwarven architecture of like Kaz-Karum or something like that. It's a much more basic type of architecture. Obviously, Bharrik would be very familiar with Stoneview, as that is where he hails from.
Okay, so this is your town.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not from any of these other places?
Well, originally from Ironbridge, left there ages ago, and migrated to Stoneview with Trogdor and the family.
You migrated a day?
It was a long day.
They established the town. They built the town.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, let's stop off here. Let's play your story tonight. Let's do that.
Fantastic.
So Keith,
let's get you into some role play, bud.
My favorite.
I got dominoes coming. I'm gonna hang out and watch you do your thing.
Keith loves role playing. So Bharrik, you would be familiar as you grew up here that there were a few notable locations in here. Aside from your home, there's also the Temple of Barronar Truesilver. There is the Firebrew Inn, and there's Dragon Iron, which is the Dragonbane blacksmith, and then lastly there's the Stoneview General Store. And those are the places that you recall being in Stoneview.
What was the first one?
The Temple of Barronar Truesilver.
It's like a temple. Okay. What was the other place? You have the
Firebrew Inn, Dragon Iron, which is the blacksmith where Trogdor's father owns.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the Stoneview General Store.
Look at you. You own your own store. That's a kingdom. That's pretty sweet.
He's not Trogdor anymore.
Shh. It's Brogdor. That's right.
Doesn't know that.
That's right. Well, I guess what would your character want to do first? Go into and get drunk, go to the temple, see Brogdor's father, or
Hey, Dad. I mean, Krommor.
or see
Long time.
or go into the general store.
I would say so. Fargus, right? Was what we discussed.
Yes.
So, my buddy Fargus is there. He's the kind of the head guy there. He's in charge of everything. Reports back to the king at Ironbridge. So I think we should go and find him and see if he knows what's going on.
Let's do it up.
So you remember that he has a kind of a small office all the way in the back of the Barronar Truesilver Temple. And that's where he spends a lot of his time. There isn't like a mayor's office or anything like that in your town, which you would remember. Mostly he just has an office in that temple.
Alright, so let's head to the temple.
Okay. So you enter into this very, very basic temple. There's pews. There's a statue of the goddess Barronar Truesilver holding a bow and arrow all the way up against the wall far in the back. You see there's a priest behind an altar, and then there's a door in the far back of the main praying area where you know that Fargus has his office.
Alright, so let's go ahead to that door over there.
So you find that the door is not locked. You open it and you see this dwarf sitting behind a desk. He has this red beard with a gold clasp at the bottom, and he has this brownish-red mohawk. He looks much like Trogdor Dragonbane. You'll recall that in their youth, many in the village that didn't know them that well thought that Trogdor and Fargus were brothers, even though they're not. Fargus doesn't run the town officially, but really he does kind of direct everything that happens and reports directly to King Roblum Ironbridge.
Alright, so, yes.
He's looking over some papers.
So, Fargus. It's been quite some time.
He looks up. Oh, Bharrik! Good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you, Fargus. We were walking around over at Opponent's Bog and saw a bright flash come from this area. Do you know anything about that?
No, it was some kind of a loud explosion. I don't know what that was. I sent some of my men up that way.
Have you heard back from them?
Not yet. I fear for the king.
How many men did you send up?
I sent half of the guards in the town. 6 men, 6 of our best.
Have you heard from Krommor? How's he?
As far as I know, he's still running the blacksmith. He has taken ill as of late, though. He isn't feeling very well.
Who's this?
Trogdor's father. That's what he's talking
sick.
about.
He's sick. And where is he right now? Is he in his shop or no?
Who is your friend? Who are you, young lad?
My name is Lord Sorin of Assine. Got it right. And I hail from Ferelden.
Oh, a lord. Yes, pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. We don't see a lot of humans in Ironbridge. There's only one other human, and he is a busboy at the inn. It's very rare to see your kind here.
Why is he here?
I don't know. I don't speak to him very often.
Yeah, we came here because of that light and that sound. You said you sent your best men?
Yes, I sent my 6 best men, 6 best guards over there. I don't know what happened. What?
Over to Ironbridge?
Over to the Ironbridge Castle to check on the king. The explosion seemed to come from that area, whatever that was.
How long ago did it leave?
It was only about an hour.
Yeah, they left about, sent them about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, because we were on the bird and we saw it when it happened, and the bird flew right here. And we've only had the bird for an hour.
Makes sense. Look at your math. Nailed it.
Fucking math. And directions.
Whole north thing. So Fargus, how have things been here? Things been safe, friendly?
Things have been good in our town. Things have been good, for sure. But I do fear for the king. And as I said too, Krommor has grown quite ill ever since Trogdor left the village. Have you seen him? How has he been?
He is no longer here.
Yes, he left the village. I know.
Yes, he was taken down in battle.
What?
Yeah.
Trogdor
being Trogdor ran in, not knowing what he was doing. Fucking noob. And
it was an honorable death, but he did die.
He gets up from his chair and he walks over to you. He puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, "I'm sorry for the loss of your friend, Bharrik, but please, until he is better, you must not tell Krommor. He might not survive hearing such news."
Didn't I give you the ring of Trogdor? I took something off of Trogdor. I gave it to you, right?
It's like a family ring of sorts.
Yeah. Let me show him that.
Yeah, I have this ring here. I'll hand over the ring.
Takes it. The Dragonbane ring, yes.
I want you to hold on to that. Take it back? I'll take it back then.
Okay.
It's yours. Don't let anyone else have it.
I was going to have him give it to Krommor when he's better.
It's not getting better. It's gonna die.
It looks like he kills the entire family. It's comfortable once. Kills everybody.
I mean, he just has a cold.
Yeah, he's got COVID.
He's got the vid. He can come back from that. Yeah, I'm going to take the ring back and we're going to... I think it's best if we go check on Krommor over at his shop, see how he's doing. And then we'll trek out to the castle, find out what's going on. Fly on our magical bird here again.
Bharrik, please. When you find out what happened to the king, please let me know.
We'll do. We'll fly. We'll meet back and give you an update of what's going on over here once we find out. So now, where's the shop from here?
It's just down the street a little bit. You would know the general store. The general store, or you want to go to Dragon Iron.
Well, I'm assuming Krommor is at Dragon Iron, right?
Yeah, is that where you want to go?
Yeah, let's go there.
Okay. So after you leave Fargus's office and you're walking back through the main part of the temple, you hear a voice behind you say, "Oh, Bharrik, good to see you again."
And who is turn around, look back, and what do I say?
You see it's the priest that was behind the altar that called out to you. "Please, my child, come over here and talk to me."
There we go.
Getting molested by a priest.
Well, don't take one for the team.
He puts his hand on your thigh.
Creeps it up slowly. Yes. Magical priest, who I don't know your name yet.
I see that you have a friend with you. Who is this young man that you've brought to our simple village?
This is Lord Sorin. We met up in my travels.
I must ask, my son, have you been keeping up with your prayers?
Oh, of course.
Well, come, let's pray together before you head back out.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like
this. Get on your hands and knees.
and prayed and fast.
We'll go into the confession booth.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, roleplay that.
Yeah, great. All right.
And he tries to direct you over to this small booth that's like behind this closed door.
What are your confessions, my son?
You go with him?
Yeah, I'll go.
So he walks in, and there's like a partition. He pulls the partition, and he kind of sits in a chair. And sitting in the chair, it's kind of pointed off to the side away from you, so when he sits, he's kind of looking this way while you're looking straight ahead. The partition has this little window cut out. It's like a curtain, it's a black
Circular?
curtain. Yeah, it's a circular, but it's a head height.
Okay.
And you find that you have to kneel to, there's only like a pad there to kneel. So you kneel on the pad, and your face is in front of the circular hole in the partition. And he's sitting in a chair, looking this way. And he says, So Bharrik, it has been some time since you left the village. Do you have any sins that you wish to confess?
It's so sinful.
So where do I begin?
Stay there.
Well, we got a guy drunk and robbed his store to take back Trogdor's family battle axe that it wasn't a family battle axe. To take back Trogdor's weapon that was lost. But I've been trying my best to do the right thing, protect others, and carry on my life's mission.
I know this axe. I told the king that it would bring trouble to our people.
Apparently it has, huh?
Do you remember the teachings that you've had at this temple, Bharrik?
It's been so long. I'm afraid I don't remember them that well anymore.
We stand for all things good here in Ironbridge. We oppose all kinds of evil, particularly the demons of the abyss and their evil ways. It is known that relying on their power can only lead to calamity. Warlocks, which have not been seen in clad for generations, often relied on the power of these evil beings, which brought much woe to our continent and led to the warlock's extinction.
That's actually a really big deal.
He turns to you. So he's been looking away from you the whole time. And he turns to you and he says, I would like you to repent.
Ooh. Okay.
Close your eyes, as you've done many times in the past,
You know, your mouth.
and beg forgiveness of Barronar Truesilver, of your god, and see that she has it in her heart to forgive you for robbing the store.
What's the guy's name again? Barronar?
Barronar Truesilver. It's a god that you sent me.
Yeah, I know. You know how long ago that was now?
I know.
There's so many names in this thing.
I don't lose notes, that's why.
Yeah.
I honest to God think that your name is Trogdor.
It's not his name.
So, don't ask me what your actual character's name is.
That should have been Trogdor.
So he asks you to close your eyes and to beg forgiveness of your god.
Was it Barronar, right?
Barronar.
Barronar?
So you're gonna be doing this in your mind. You're not gonna be saying it out loud.
Yep. Alright, so I'll sit there, I'll close my eyes, and I'll start praying for forgiveness from Barronar for taking advantage of the guy robbing the store.
What do you say?
Saying that I have sinned and I have broken the oath of doing good. But in my mind, I was breaking the oath to do good for Trogdor and the family, to take back what was his. And I pray for forgiveness and protection moving forward.
Well, just like every time in your entire life that you've ever prayed, ever been asked to beg for forgiveness for something or pray to your God, just like every other time, you hear nothing. Because that's...
It's all a lie.
It's all a lie. You hear nothing. A moment goes by. Your eyes are still closed. And you actually hear a female voice. Sounds muffled, like it's coming from very far away. But you hear, Cortania is in great peril. Something dark and incredibly powerful is coming from another plane. There may be a way to stop it. Travel with Vecni and Sorin, as their quest will become the same as yours, though they don't know it yet. The axe gifted to Trogdor by the king. There are 22 artifacts just like it spread throughout Dovah.
22?
They are smaller parts to a greater item of tremendous power.
Just turning fucking Harry Potter here.
Find as many as you can. Do not allow these items to fall into the hands of evil. And trust me, evil ones will come searching for them very soon. Then the voice stops.
That's actually kind of cool.
Instead of 22 of them part.
Yeah, except for the 22 should be like 6.
And the fact we have no idea what they look like.
But they're all like queer pink, right? They're all like queer color. Yeah. Yeah, and I bet they build all one big suit and kind of like Iron Man armor kind of thing. And you already have the great axe. What color is the one that you have? It's a color, isn't it?
Was it pink?
Yeah. So, like, Odoacer has a gauntlet. His is pink. There's another, like, guy out there who has 2 other foot soldiers, and they also have, like, items, too. Dan describes them very intricately as queer. So whenever he uses that word, you know it's one of these items.
We're not talking about Joe.
Or he's talking about me. That's also on the table.
Alright.
So the priest does not react. It does not appear that the priest is aware that you heard that voice.
How would your character react hearing the sound of God?
So I open my eyes. I'm kind of startled. I talk to the priest. Say, I gotta go. I gotta go help stop someone and rush out and run out of that building. And
Sorin is left befuddled as he sees Trogdor just
like, Sorin, hurry up! We're leaving.
as he bursts open the door of the confession and then like runs to the front and out the front door. So Sorin will like walk after him. As he leaves like a Bugs Bunny kind of silhouette through the front door.
Just the dust silhouette. So you said a name. Cannon something?
Cortania. That's the name of That's the name of Earth.
Ah,
That's
okay.
the name of Earth.
Okay.
I also said the name Clad. That's the name of the continent where you are.
Okay. So you didn't say actual people names or anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So we got some emergency. We need to fly out to Ironbridge ASAP.
Before we leave, should we hit the general store and see Trogdor's father, your uncle?
We probably should.
Zapdos will get us there in no time.
All right, let's go to the stop by the general store.
General store?
Love me a good general store. Never know what you're gonna get there.
You have all that money that I don't have.
Yeah, I do. I got that pimp money.
You enter this fully stocked general store interior. There are fresh fruits, vegetables, liquor, and other supplies on the shelves. You see an older dwarf and his young daughter manning the store. The older dwarf is behind the counter, and his daughter is stocking shelves. The daughter is this cute female dwarf with a blonde mustache.
Nice.
Female dwarves usually have facial hair. They don't always, but usually.
Don't tell that to the people who wrote the new Lord of the Rings trilogy or series.
Why?
Those women do not have beards.
Oh, they don't have to have them, but they often do.
Oh no, it's a thing, but the writers didn't do that. It's a whole thing.
Oh, I haven't seen it, so. And she's around Trogdor's age. So, and Bharrik's a little older than Trogdor, right? A little bit older.
Bharrik's older.
The shopkeeper also has a blonde head of hair, and he has a gray mustache, and there are ingrown hairs and blemishes on his cheeks. And you would recognize, since you grew up in the town, you recognize the father as Trogdor Wheatslinger, and his daughter Anadrella Wheatslinger.
Fucking names again. I already forgot the guy's name. Brustor?
Brustor Wheat Slinger.
Yogurt Slinger. Brustor, it's me, Bharrik. How have you been?
Nice to see you again.
We flew into town here on our Zapdos flying rainbow bird over here. Trying to
Badass bird, tell you what.
try to
So you
find
have
out.
a human with you.
Yeah, this is Lord Sorin.
We don't see many non-dwarfs here, either.
Yeah, they don't come around too often.
I must ask, have you ran into any of those lizard people on your way here? Those vile lizard people.
We dispatched many, and I am here as a guest in this great area that you call home.
Old deception.
With Trogdor. Okay.
DC 12.
GC 12. Do you use a portent? Yeah, I'll roll
You
it.
can't use Proton after you've already failed.
Oh, I didn't roll it yet. Now I did. 60.
He believes you. Oh, very impressive. The lizard folk, they're very fierce warriors. I'm impressed that you were able to defeat many of them, as you say.
Yes. And hopefully that'll keep your home here clear of them for a while.
They plague the mountains and the swamps. Disgusting.
When
Violent.
was the last time you've seen a lizard folk in these areas?
It's been recently. I'd say it's been about 10 years or so. Or too recent.
There was one I heard who may or may not be up here. Her name is Aponia.
They name these creatures?
They
Ugh.
do. Vile, disgusting things they are.
They're nothing more than dogs, so I didn't even give them names. They are worth less than the dung on the bottom of my shoe.
Have you heard of anyone who's seen sightings of these disgusting creatures?
Yes, they're seen all the time.
Whereabouts?
All over the mountains and the bog. Disgusting.
So the bog is from Comet Mountain? Is it by the Comet Mountain?
It's southeast of where you are now.
Because
Or not
Because
southeast.
What's-His-Face lost her
Down and left.
in the mountains, right?
Gragas lost her on Common Mountain, yes. He was trying to find the Lizard Folk village. And
So
as he
he-
ascended the mountains,
Who's Gragas again?
he is a dwarf that, you haven't met him.
Okay.
He was a dwarf that they met in the doghouse, and they also met him in a place called Warden's Tavern.
Yeah.
But you haven't met him yet.
So the only way for her to go, though, would be to Stoneview or Ironbridge.
For her to
Or they could have went to the east of Common Mountain. You guys are west of Common Mountain. They could have went east also. It's a whole fucking world, bro.
We're south of Comet Mountain.
It's not on the map, but it's
No,
south of Common Mountain.
we are east right now because we're in Stoneview.
You're west of Common Mountain. If you look at the compass.
No.
We are in Stoneview.
Yeah.
We are east. Comet Mountain is north to us right now.
That is south, isn't it?
I don't know.
We're
The
down
map,
to
the
the
map,
map.
the map is accurate, so whatever. The map is correct. The map is correct.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we are south of Comet Mountain, but we are east of Ironbridge. Okay, I was looking at weird.
Yeah. Okay. Great map.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but the map is the map is correct.
No, we got you. We got you. So Comet Mountain is north of us,
Yes.
but we don't know anything there.
Oh, I see the confusion. So Common Mountain is big. It keeps going off. It keeps going to the east. It keeps going.
Yeah. Goes
That's
that way.
the confusion.
Yeah. Okay. And the lizard folk are in the mountains?
Yes,
Seems
they have,
odd
they,
for them to be there.
they have some kind of stack of huts, pile of rags that they call a village
Whereabout?
on the top of the mountain, supposedly. Although I've never seen it. I would never have interest in going anywhere near those disgusting, foul creatures. Just as I would never bother to ascend Pine Dust Peaks. There's nothing to find up there either except for foul beasts and monsters and ugh. Stay away from both places.
Now, why do dwarves hate lizard people?
They're disgusting creatures. They attack us for no reason. They aren't civilized like we.
Yeah.
They
It's like
speak
a
that stupid
dwarves
language.
thing. You know what I mean?
Racism is very common in Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah.
between the races. It's
Yeah.
very common.
BTW. Hope that doesn't
Expect
offend you.
racism.
Yeah. Hope that doesn't offend you.
Well, the humans don't really have different races.
Yeah.
So
Only in America.
that's why I point out ebony humans, tan humans, whatever. while you as people, you might see things through like a perspective of bias or something like that. In game, they other humans won't see humans like that. Now you might dislike humans based on where they're from, like this nation doesn't like this nation. That could be a thing. But from a racial perspective, there wouldn't be any hostility.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, thank you, sir, and I appreciate this this conversation. But this is a general store, is it not? What do you have to offer us? We'd love to help you out in your business.
See if I have a menu I can give you. Otherwise, I have to read you off what I have, which I don't want to do. So this is the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What?
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so this is what they have for sale in the store.
Get that away. Just get it away from me. Ooh, there's a lot of wine and rum here. And whiskey. Man, that's not it.
I keep you all over that.
I feel like someone in our group would love to have that. Look, a bottle of hard fireball liquor.
Firebrew.
Do you have heavy armor on right now?
Yeah, I do.
Then you don't need it.
Okay.
Is scale mail worse than the starting armor?
No, here he has a different armor because we got it from that guy.
I don't remember.
Yeah, remember? We killed that dude and he took his armor?
Is
Yeah,
that
that
better
damage
than
on
scale
scale
mail? I don't know.
Yeah, so the guy that we met
Yeah,
in
scale
the
mail is
bog,
medium.
the guy that we met in the bog, the big bad
The right guy?
Yeah.
I got armor from him.
He has no armor, and remember I had to disenchant it to take off the magic properties that it had?
It was cursed.
Yeah, because it was cursed, and he...
Shocker.
Yeah, right? Shocker.
There's a lot of cursed stuff.
Yeah. So, it's not cursed anymore, so now it's just heavy armor. So.
What kind of heavy armor was it?
Really heavy.
Was it plate? Was it chainmail? Was it all different kinds?
It was.
It could still be worse.
I think
than
it was
scale
something you
It was-
described that's not in 5e.
mail. Oh, okay.
Plate.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so it's plate armor.
Oh, so plate armor is the best heavy armor.
Yeah, so, yeah, you don't need anything
Alright,
else.
so it's better than scale
Yeah,
mail.
so we'll take a whole bunch of rations.
Okay.
So 10 rations is 10 gold. So I'll buy 100 rations.
So it only has 10.
Oh, so alright. Alright, that's fine. So yeah, I'll buy 10 rations. I'll give Brogdor here 5.
Okay.
And then I'll also buy.
He's got the beef. He's got other food.
Yeah, I'll also buy 3 bottles of wine, but we only need 2, so we'll just throw the other one out, right? Yeah, no, because Sorin wants some wine, something to partake in.
So the numbers I wrote, that's all he has. So like if I wrote like 1 bottle of rum,
Well, it
that's all
says
he has.
3 bottles of wine,
Yeah.
150 gold.
Yep. So you buying that?
Yeah,
Alright, so
I'll take all that my stuff, and then
So you got the bottles of wine. You got the
10 rations.
Rations. Okay.
Yep. Do you want dried beef, dried fish, or dried pork?
Let's go with some dried beef.
You want some dried beef? You got 8 servings, so 15 gold each. Okay.
You getting were you getting the pork? You said
The beef.
the beef. You're getting both casks or one?
Well, it says 2 casks. Okay, yeah, well we'll do both casks.
Okay.
So 30 gold. All right, so 30, 40.
So it's
How much gold total?
190 total.
190.
Not much.
Yeah.
All right. So 190 gold, please.
Done. And then I'm gonna give you 1 cask of those beefs. Okay.
Okay.
I'm also gonna give you 5 rations and 1 bottle of wine.
Now, how do I add the wine?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's more for role playing. You don't actually need it. So the only thing that actually matters is the rations.
And Bharrik, you will remember Trogdor's daughter, Anadrella. You will remember that she always was very flirty and always had kind of a thing for it. But she hasn't noticed you.
They're hard to get.
She legit just hasn't noticed you.
She hasn't noticed you.
Nope.
Go make yourself noticed.
What's her name again?
Anadrella.
By the way, if you ever want to play 50 years from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how you have a son. Just saying.
We've done that in the old campaigns.
Huh? Brogdor the Great. Okay.
On a what?
Anadrella.
Anadrella?
Wheat slinger.
Yeah, I'll give her a wheat slinger. Yeah, Anadrella. How have you been?
She turns around. Oi! Bharrik!
Oh,
Good to see ya!
bounce out.
Oi! Got to warn your daughter.
Yep, she's a dwarf woman, that's right. She's got a beard and a hairy pussy.
She has a blonde mustache.
Sure
and
does.
then she got some like stray, like little light-colored hairs on her chin and her cheeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been a long time.
That's what happens when you play a dwarf. You get dwarf women.
Yeah. Well, you almost banged one.
Well, almost, but I wouldn't have banged her. First of all,
She had a thick-ass beard.
yeah. But I knew what
I'll take it up with it.
political influence she had.
Yeah. She's from a noble house.
Yeah, so I played nice.
So yeah, how have you been? It's been like I said, it's been a long time.
I'll be honest, Bharrik. I've been pretty lonely.
Yeah.
What, you want to get together for a drink when I get out of work or something? I couldn't wait to see you again.
Yeah, I would love to, but
I've been feeling fine, baby.
And she goes over and she puts her hand like in the middle of your back.
kind of just yeah, I would love to, but we got a little emergency brewing out west that we need to get out to soon.
You can smell that she's probably been working really hard today, and you can smell like, not like disgusting scent, but you could smell like a sweat coming from her, like she's been working hard stocking the shelves.
So you guys been busy here?
Oi! Yeah, well, we're real busy here. Real busy.
It's good. It's
We're
good.
always working. People always ordering food and stuff from here.
It's good. Keep them busy. Hopefully, doing well with your life here.
How about I have you over the house? I'll make you a nice dinner. It'll be me, you, and Pops. You can invite your friend.
That's forgot if I got something on a 3-hour dinner party.
Tell her no.
I would love to. Maybe on our if we head back here on our way back, but we can't stay long here tonight. We gotta leave. There's people that could be in danger over in Ironbridge we need to get to.
Oh, where are you heading off to? You're heading off to Ironbridge to check on that explosion that happened?
Yeah. Lord Sorin and I were here. We flew in, make sure everyone was okay here, and we had to head on out and make sure everyone's okay out west.
Well, good luck to you. I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. I will definitely stop by, and we'll have some dinner. Brush your hand out.
So you want to go anywhere else in this town? Because there's still the inn and the Dragon Iron.
We'll have to go to Dragon Iron.
Okay. You walk into the really familiar Dragon Iron blacksmith. You see that just like how it always is, the blacksmith itself is very unorganized. There's pieces of armor and unworked metals and steel set up on tables and thrown in piles on the floors, and as well as up against the walls. You're familiar that this blacksmith shop, because again, you've worked for this family for many years, you're familiar that they often have unusual items for sale, and as you wrote to me, Krommor, every time he makes a suit of armor or a weapon, it's better than the last. So you know that even from the last time you were here, there's probably new stuff that's like even cooler than the last time you saw. Mm-hmm. But Krommor Dragonbane himself, you see him kind of hunch over the table just coughing uncontrollably. After a good 15-20 seconds of that, he stops, and you can see that his eyes are all watery, and he doesn't look good.
Awesome. So, welcome, Krommor.
Bharrik, it's good to see you again. No, don't come too close. I'm not feeling well.
What is troubling you?
It's that goddamn Posis.
Have you taken any potions for it? You got your vaccinations?
There's no vaccine for this. You know, the government pushed out a vaccine for this that they said works, and people started injecting it, but apparently it doesn't stop you from getting the disease or spreading it.
Goddamn government. Probably those lizard people.
He goes, well, as you know, the Viposis, that's that new virus that's been infecting the pigs and cattle. If you eat any of the tainted meat, it infects the tissue in your lungs and throat. They say I only have a week left to live. There's no known cure to this disease.
That is awful news.
I'm not going to be long for this world, but at least my son can carry on my name and my work.
Yes, I am still trying to find him in my travels.
Please.
I have not found him yet.
Please, Bharrik, bring him back here before my last day. As I said, I only have about a week left to live according to the doctors.
You know, I was wondering why it was so cold down here. I left that front door open.
But I didn't close all that.
Fucking animal.
We probably shouldn't eat the beef.
Huh?
Apparently,
It's cursed?
no, in Dan, yes. But apparently there's some virus going that's infecting animals and such.
God damn it! Fucking damn.
Krommor has a week to live, he was told, from eating the tainted meat. And this virus he has.
So let's not get too close.
God, fucking Dan. Can't have anything nice in this campaign.
Just looking for some good beef jerky.
Right?
I overheard some people talking in the Firebrew Inn saying maybe there's some kind of cure, but I don't know. I don't believe it. Just please have Trogdor stop by before my last day, before the week is up, just so I can pass over the reins to him, so that our family name can go on.
Little does he know.
You know me, I will do my absolute best to get to him as soon as I can.
Thank you.
Poor guy.
You want to take a look at what I have for sale in the meantime?
Yeah, what is what new weapons have you been working on?
So like I said, you know that every time he makes something, it's better than last time, and he makes all kinds of cool shit.
2 diamonds? Oh, that's great. I'm buying that for show. Potion of greater healing. Antioxidant. Poisoner's kit. Healer's kit. Oh, man. This guy's fucking great.
So, Dan, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How does a blacksmith not have any weapons?
He doesn't have any weapons or anything prepared.
Fucking slacker.
All he has is these things.
What's a component pouch?
So you know how you have a spell focus?
Yeah.
There's an alternate mechanic,
Okay.
component pouch instead.
Okay.
You could actually purchase one.
Okay. So, I assume it would have components in it that don't have value.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna buy the component pouch. I'm going to buy both diamonds. But before I do that, I might use
Oh, for the 7,500.
yeah, but I might talk him down.
Yeah, we can try to do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm definitely gonna buy the potion of greater healing. Both.
Okay, 800 each.
Yeah. And what's a healer's kit?
Just like, it's one of those starting kits that you can have on your character. The healer's kit specifically, I believe the way that works is if you have proficiency with it and you have it, you could do a medicine check to stabilize someone that's down. If you already have one, then you don't need to buy one.
I don't think I have that.
So here's the thing about the diamonds. Even if I buy them, they're still worth that dollar amount. So it's not like I'm losing money. It's almost like an even exchange. You know what I mean? Like I'm buying $7,500 worth of diamonds, but I'm getting $7,500 worth of diamonds. I can sell those diamonds and still get $70. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
But would you say we'd be able to crush diamonds, powderize them?
I'm sure that there would be a way to do it, not just with your physical strength, though. I'm sure there's a way you could.
Because I know that there's like a 6th level spell, I think, that requires me to have 200 GP worth of crushed diamonds.
If you were to take a hammer and smash it, it would not crush it. But I'm sure there's a way you could do it.
Okay. And who's it? This is Bardor's dad?
Trogdor's dad.
This is Trogdor's dad?
It's not Bharrik's dad. It's Trogdor's dad.
Is he by himself here?
Yeah. Yes. There's no one else in there.
You know, just speaking out loud, if we were to tell him that Trogdor died, he might just die right here and we could just
take everything.
Just saying.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Let me ask you a question about the game here.
Sure.
As a bard, what's with the music stuff?
What do you mean?
Like, there's bagpipes for 800 gold, and
Yeah, their bard is a whole
Yeah.
class of character, and they play musical instruments to cast their spells.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And they need their instruments to build to do their magic.
So it's for magic reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say you have a lute and it breaks. Well, then you can't cast spells unless you get a different instrument.
Okay. I had no idea what that was all about.
Yeah, so obviously he wrote this with different characters in mind, right? But like to his point, let's just say that you're a bard who has a lute. Well, lutes are fucking gay, right? So maybe you want to be a lute with fucking bagpipes instead, or a bard with bagpipes instead. You can just change what you have. Musical instrument doesn't matter. You just need to have one.
I got you. Okay.
Also, with Bharrik, for a roleplay perspective, if you wanted to just buy bagpipes and just play them as part of your character, I would let you do that. And then if you're at a bar and you're trying to like put on a good performance or something to get people to like you or something like that, I would let you try and I would have you roll a performance roll to see if it works or not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all different kinds of things you can do.
So you're buying a bunch of shit, right?
Well, it depends. So I want you to kind of like talk to this guy now. We don't come here paying full price. Not the son of Trogdor or whatever.
So Krommor, I need a family favor here.
What? What's going on?
You can help him find Trogdor if you help him out.
We'll rush over to the inn and try to find that cure for you that you think that might be there. If you can help us out with some of the costs for this stuff.
What do you... yeah, I mean, if you can cure my illness, I'll give you all this shit for free, I'll be honest. If you can save my life.
Okay. And what is this cure called that they have at the inn?
I don't know anything about it. I thought there was no cure at all. But I overheard them talking about it, saying there is some kind of a cure.
Now we're in investigation.
See that?
Just like that.
Oh, you missed it when you were getting your pizza. Dan tried to suck me into another dinner party.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to suck you off into a drink.
I know how much she loves the dinner parties.
All right, so let's go to we'll run to the inn real quick and see what we can find for you.
Sure.
Okay. You see a sign outside of the building you're familiar with. It's the Firebrew Inn. Next to the sign, there's a small little painting of a red-spotted black lizard, like underneath the sign. You walk into the bar. You see it's a modest bar area. It's not very busy. There's not that many people in there. You see that there is a dwarf behind the bar with this. He's got this long red beard with a black tip, bald head. He looks kind of like a little bit of an older dwarf. You also see that there's this mosaic painting on the wall of several of these red spotted black lizards, kind of similar to that sign to what you saw on the sign. You also see this older looking human cleaning tables, like he's a busboy. The human looks kind of familiar. He looks like he's probably around middle age. He looks familiar to Sorin. Okay. He looks like he's probably around middle age. He's got this long, curly black hair with a face that looks pretty familiar. He looks a lot like Prince. And you also see that there is a gnomish bard playing an instrument on an elevated stage.
No, we're saying
And the gnomish bard...
familiar. Is it familiar to me or familiar to Sorin?
The human?
Yeah.
To Sorin.
Okay.
And the bard is the gnomish bard is also familiar to Sorin. He looks like the bard, honestly.
Get the fuck out of here, man!
And who's that?
And he's playing a song you've never heard. You want to hear it?
What'd I do?
You didn't do anything. Let's hear it.
You want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
It's real short.
Honestly, he's the worst.
What? What do you do wrong?
He's the worst.
Uneasy feeling creeping up your spine. I hand over illness even though it's mine. Ross leads us through to opponent's bargain of Void Forte. In a blink of an eye, there is an ambush in the cave. 1 second they were our allies. We were fighting on the same side. We had St. Henry from the jails. But did he even want to be saved or be left alone? Lord Henry, we tried to help you. Lord Henry, and bring you to Queen's Grace. Lord Henry, bring your prince to his destiny. Lord Henry, but you forced our swords.
So that's what you saw. You saw the guy that looks like Prince, but like older, busting tables. You see the guy, the dwarf behind a bar, and you see Honesty on stage, and there's really no one else in there. Just those three people.
What's the thing that Krommor has?
The illness, it's
Yeah.
called Vaposis.
What?
Vaposis.
Vaposis?
It's a virus that has been infecting pigs and cattle, and if you eat the tainted meat from those animals, then the tissue in your lungs and throat get infected, and it kills you in about a week after the symptoms start.
Okay, watch the ring. Go to the bar,
Okay.
to where that other dwarf is.
Yeah, you wouldn't know who Honesty is.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay over that fucking guy.
He's got this very wrinkled face, and you could kind of detect this hot breath. You're just standing there.
Such clean people here. So I kind of lean in and kind of flag him down. And I'm assuming he knows Krommor.
You could assume that he would know. It's a very small town.
So I call him over, and Krommor is very sick. He has Vaposis.
I heard.
He was telling me of stories he's heard that there could be a cure over here. You heard anything about that?
Yeah, the legends say that this has happened before, hundreds of years ago, with all the livestock getting infected.
And what did the legend say?
They said that the dwarves of Ironbridge were put to ruin, that they were all going to be eliminated by this virus, and there was no hope, nothing that could save us. But there was one brave dwarf. He climbed the Pine Dusk Peaks. He climbed the Pine Dusk Peaks. He passed the sorceress's trials, and she gave him a cure to the disease. All the dwarves drank of the cure, and the virus was eliminated.
Is there any of this cure left?
Not here, but they say that sorceress still lives atop Pine Dusk Peaks. If someone was brave enough to climb the peaks, pass her trials, and make it to her, maybe our people could be saved.
Well, we're going to be here for a few weeks.
But that's the legend anyway. I mean, as far as I know, only Krommor and a couple others have gotten infected, so I just haven't been eating any of the beef or pork, and I've been fine.
So I dump my beef on the ground and sweep it right at the rug. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. So Pine Dust Peaks, huh? That's where we have to go.
You, as a native of this area, you'd be familiar with where that would be.
Yeah.
It's on the map. So.
Is he familiar with the Mage Tower?
I would say that you've never... The dwarves in general don't ever go to Pine Dust Peaks because it's very dangerous.
But we just know of it.
You know of it.
Gotcha. So
It's a very dangerous place.
This dwarf that did all this stuff, this was ages ago, or is he still alive?
Hundreds of years ago. I don't even know his name. I'm assuming he's no longer alive.
Trogdor.
We live a long time as dwarves, but we don't live forever.
Well, the generations started at A and ended in T.
It's never just 20 generations. All right, we're good. That is a shame. We must try to climb those peaks then.
If you plan to save Krommor, it's the only way I can think of. But then again, it's a legend. For all I know, there might be no one up there at all. You might risk your life for no reason.
Where does the beef come from? And the pork?
The livestock that we raise in town.
And what are they eating?
Grain.
So how are they getting this disease?
I don't know.
Perhaps it'd just be best and fitting to just slaughter all of them and only have the chickens left.
It's not a bad idea.
It's a good thing you're here and thought of that.
I suggest you bring that idea to Fargus. He kind of runs our town. Make that suggestion to him. We didn't even think of that.
It seemed like the only thing to do.
That would make sense.
It would make sense.
That probably solve a lot of issues. A little too late though.
Like he said, not many people have been infected. So.
Alright, so, is there anything else in this inn that we're at?
Just the bartender, the bard, and the busboy.
So I'm gonna go talk to the busboy.
Older looking human male, middle-aged, long curly black hair. He looks kind of like Prince.
Looks kind of like Prince, but he's not Prince.
You also notice that he is kind of hobbling about with a wooden peg leg.
Wooden peg leg. So, yeah, I'll walk up behind him and put my hand on his back and I'm like, you boy, what are you doing here?
He looks at you with these really sad eyes. And he goes, "Hi, nice to meet you."
Is it Prince? It is nice to meet you as well. My name is Sorin. Who are you?
I work at the inn. My name's Bjorn.
Bjorn?
Can I help you with something? If you want to order food, then get it from Ulfmore.
Can I roll a history to see if I remember what Bjorn is? Or who Bjorn is?
Sure. Oh, do you see 12?
Plus 8. 13 plus 8. 21.
So you'll remember. Have you learned his name? Well, you'll know. Well, this you would know that Bjorn is the name of Prince's father, who supposedly joined Vigor. It was some kind of like big badass with a scar on his face and wields a giant sword.
Do I see the scar on this gentleman's face that I recognize?
No, there's no scar.
Did Bjorn have a peg leg?
Not that you heard, but you never met him. So. Also, you've heard discussions between Vecni, King Doken, talking about this Bjorn person. Apparently, the misfit bastard pirate crew, they were hunting him down to kill him. Apparently, he is like a real bad guy out there killing people, doing all kinds of fucked up stuff. The Bjorn that's Prince's father.
Mm-hmm. But he looks like Prince.
He looks like Prince.
Doesn't have Prince's father's scar.
No.
And has a peg leg.
Yes, and he says his name's Bjorn.
His name is Bjorn. Man, where's Kevin when you need him, huh?
Kevin would probably be good for this right now. Kevin would be calling out shit.
Nothing, my lad. Enjoy your day. Right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk right up to fucking honesty.
Punch him square in the face.
Okay.
And, I'm just gonna walk right on all smug and shit. Like, honesty. It's good to see you're not a pile of dust anymore.
He goes, "Hi, Sorin. Good to see you again."
Good to see you as well. You're looking a lot better than the last time we met.
Ah, you look pretty good yourself.
Last time I recall, you were just a speck on the wall.
If that's how you remember it. And he strums his lute.
So what brings you around these parts?
I just like you guys. I just like to keep up with you. Anything new? Where have Blake and Roland been? I've been wanting to see them again.
That is a good question. Last night I heard they were in Queen's Grace.
I've been waiting for their patrons to grow nice and strong.
I bet you have. And who is your patron?
Cocks his head. I don't have a patron. I'm patronizing this wonderful establishment right now.
Yeah, I see that. Are you here working for free, or do you have a permit?
I didn't know that a permit was needed, but I'll be sure to speak to the town and get one. Lickety split. Bing.
Make sure you do it. Has the town collected any taxes from what you're being awarded for and paying today?
Not yet, but I'll make sure to drop off a nice coin purse at Fargus's door. Bing.
Make sure you do. And that last song, where did you get it from?
It's just something. It doesn't really mean anything. Just something I came up with. That sound familiar to you?
Yeah, actually, it sounds like a complete reenactment of a pretty shitty day.
Oh,
but I think you've had worse days.
Oh, maybe.
Well, the last time, I recall that we met, you were just blowing in the breeze.
And yet, here I am.
And yet, here you are.
He's a lot smugger and arrogant, much more so than, because whenever you've seen him before and you acted aggressive at all, he was like acting like a terrified of you. Remember? Yeah. He's not acting like that at all. He's acting like really arrogant and like smug right now, which is not how he usually is.
Yeah, I bet. So, I was thinking that the last time we met, I was just able to dispatch you just so quickly, and yet here it is, you stand again. So who is it you serve?
He looks over to Bharrik with a glint in his eye, looks back to you, also with a glint in his eye, and then goes,
perhaps you should tell us, and I'll cast suggestion.
What do I have to roll?
Wisdom save 16.
What's the backstory of this character? Why does he seem like a total douche?
You just saw it. So for whatever reason, he always winds up being in places that we're at, singing songs of things that we've done in the past, as if he was there. He's never been there. And he's a rat. So,
pass.
I'll silvery bars. I'll again take the lower roll.
Pass.
Get out of here! And I'll give myself advantage on the next saving throw I do.
Okay.
Well, it seems you have forgotten who it is you serve with your mere shoulder shrug. Maybe on the next song you play, I should tell us.
He says to you, maybe so. Can you do me a favor?
Do you want me to do a favor for you?
Yeah.
What would that be?
Just don't take it too easy. If you take it too easy, you won't be strong enough to do what I need you to.
Don't take it too easy. Noted. I'm not gonna walk away.
Okay.
Motherfucker!
Try to attack him or something.
Yeah. Yeah, let me attack him without Kevin and Don here. Yeah, I'm sure that'll go swimmingly well. It's just gonna disappear anyway. Dick. And who's this other broad hanging out over here?
This is a waitress.
What's on the waitress?
What's that?
Go ahead on the waitress.
Go ahead on the waitress?
Yeah.
He hates that character. He's probably met him like 7 times.
The last time I, Thanos snapped him, and he turned to dust, and
And he came back, huh?
he came back, and he's back today. Today's the first time we've seen him since.
Joe has met him in other campaigns.
Yeah.
This character's been around for a long time.
Just ruins his day every time, huh?
Every time.
Alright, well, I said we skip the waitress here, we get this thing rolling, and I said we fly out to Ironbridge at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, but not without talking to Trogdor's father real quick. Well, I want to tell him that we're going to go on this mission to go save his life. And there are things that we want to buy anyway. We don't need the diamonds right now, but we definitely want the potion of greater healing.
Oh.
For sure.
Okay. So you buy that. So we do that quick. You buy that stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. So 2 potions of greater healing.
800 each.
Yeah.
Spending money like fucking it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
How much money do you have, Bharrik?
fucking 10.
You have 10 gold. He's got fucking 20k.
What is going on up here?
This is the bar. Yep. That's actually the Firebrew Inn. So Honesty is in that corner over there. Bjorn is the guy holding the broom, and then the bartender is behind the bar.
Alright, so we good to go now?
Yeah, is there any last words you want to say to Trogdor's father and to make sure that he knows that he's in good company and that we're going to do everything we can to save his life?
Yeah, Krommor, so you rest up. We're gonna find you that potion. We're gonna find you Trogdor, and we'll be back real soon.
And you see he coughed up like a little bit of blood on the back of his hand. Please, hurry.
We will do our best. We'll be back soon. Let's go find our rainbow bird.
So you fly. It's about a half day's flight.
And so I'll go to a little rest.
Okay.
Yeah. Long rest, only 4 hours.
It's 8 hours.
8 hours. Half a day is 12.
Yeah. You'd be able to.
Math again.
Math.
It comes up actually a lot in this game.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
I guess I'll rest too.
Yeah, if you need to, sure. You guys
Did
need
you
to eat?
ever attune, by the way, to those bracers of Dij?
To the what?
Take that as a no.
It's a good thing.
Remember I sent you the bracers of Dij?
Yes. Did I tune to it? No, I did not.
Did you add them to your inventory?
I have it in my inventory.
Right. Well, you won't be able to attune to them because they're custom items. So now you're just going to say that you did, and you have to remember it.
Okay. Guess I'm attuning to the braces of Dij.
So as you fly, you approach this massive steel bridge, or iron bridge rather, going across that the reservoir of water that leads out to the Calbraid city. You see that the bridge is kept very, very nicely, very clean. Every few feet on both sides of the bridge, there are flags bearing the sigil of the Ironbridge Kingdom, which is a golden sword in front of a rising sun on a red background. You see a city in the distance. As you approach, you see the Ironbridge sigil on banners hung from blue and red city walls. So the city walls, while stone, are kind of painted this blue and red. Every pillar is a different color. It's alternating blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. You do see something concerning as well. You see these clouds of dark smoke billowing, coming from the back of the keep, all the way in the back of the city. There's a keep, and you see the smoke billowing out. So it seems like whatever happened probably happened here. That loud explosion that you heard. The gates of the city are wide open, and you see dwarves running in and out. And as you fly closer to the entrance, you just remember that to the left of the entrance, to the walls, there's a large gatehouse holding many of the city guard, including, that's where your two friends, Golrin and Dolbrek, usually would be. And you also know that you and Trogdor trained in that building often with Sokka, Trogdor's best friend that you mentioned before, the NPC. Yeah. Also in this city, you'd be familiar that there is Asakor's House of Magic. There is Brassjaw's Armor and Weapons. And there is Asakor's Brews, Potions, and Ointments inside the city as well.
Alright.
Places to stock up before we go to find us peeps.
Yes. No, dumb question. What's the difference between... So you said magic and then potions and whatever you said there.
Those two different shops.
Are they the same type of items, or are they two different type of items?
Depends.
Okay.
Potions and ointments. It's basically the same.
Okay. Alright, so I guess we'll get off the our lovely flying rainbow and Zapdos?
Zapdos.
Zapdos. Zapdos. My apologies. Alright, and then I'm going to run up to Golrin and Dolbrek and find out what's going on.
So you enter the wide open gates of the Ironbridge Castle, of that whole big city area. And to the left is the guardhouse, the gatehouse that you've trained in. You walk in and you see that there are soldiers. It's multiple floors, and you see that there are soldiers busily moving about, grabbing armor, grabbing weapons, like they're all in a tizzy. You ascend to the second floor, and you see that there is getting equipment together. You see Golrin, who is a dwarf with a flat top of light blue hair and a blue chin strap, as well as Dolbrek, who has long black hair flowing down all the way down to the back of his knees. It's very long black hair, which he constantly combs with a comb.
He
Yeah.
does this?
Hmm?
He does this?
Yeah. And they're there, and
Those
they're
arms.
getting their stuff together.
So yeah, I run up and guys, what happened over here? What's going on?
Golrin says, "I'm very worried about King Golrin. Well, can you help us find out what happened? No one seems to know. There was some kind of explosion at the keep."
Where's the keep?
He points this like this, and then Dolbrek, the guy with the long black hair, he takes his arm and he kind of like points it in another direction. It's down that way, back in the city.
Never said they were smart friends.
And then Dolbrek just takes the comb. Just
Is the king okay?
no one has. Dolbrek speaks. He says no one has spoken to anyone from the keep, anyone from the castle since the explosion. There's all kinds of rubble. It seems that the castle itself has actually fallen.
Great.
No, it's not great at all,
No.
Bharrik. It's unlikely the king still lives.
Now's your chance to be king. Take it over. It's mine.
Many fear for the king and queen's safety. To make things even worse, a group of our best men just yesterday traveled east to the Knoll Caverns, as the Knolls have been kidnapping citizens of our kingdom and become very bold lately. So a lot of us aren't even here at the keep.
Who are they?
Off map.
Who are who? The Knolls?
Yeah, what are gnolls?
They're like beast men, like evil, chaotic, evil beast men. They eat people and shit. They're like hyena men. Basically, what they're like. They have like the heads of like a hyena, like the body of like a humanoid. And they use weapons and stuff too. They're really dangerous.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna run towards the what's left of the keep and try to find the king.
So I guess Sorin goes with you, right?
Yeah.
So you run through the city, and again, it's very, very busy, very bustling. There's people moving to and fro. There are people wheeling these wheelbarrows filled with water, and then people holding buckets of water, and they're like rushing in the same direction as you. And then coming away from you in the opposite direction, people with empty wheelbarrows and empty buckets, like they're going back towards the well, towards the kind of the front of the city, where there's this well of well water. And when you finally get to where the keep is, you see it's just basically a completely ruined building. There's all rubble. There's smoke just billowing out. You see there are still some lit fires in some sections of the castle, and dwarves are just hurling water into the fires, trying to put it out, but it's still like actively burning.
What can I see? Anything? Besides what you just explained.
Where are you looking?
Would the king normally be in this keep?
Yeah.
Is any part of this keep still standing?
No. It's like a pile of rubble, really.
Walk out onto the rubble, call out for the king, and see if I can find anything or hear anything.
When you call out to him, what do you say?
The hell do I call the king in?
Groldum.
Growl?
Groldum. King Groldum, Ironbridge. And Queen, Tanaday.
So I just yell, King, Queen, Queen. Where are you?
You say it like that?
Yes, I'm going to say it.
Oh.
Very, very urgent, as you can tell.
You don't hear
Them
them.
else is saying the same thing.
Yeah, you don't hear them reply, but you do hear other people, warriors, regular common folk, yelling, King Groldum! Queen Tanaday! Are you guys in there? Are you okay? And from the keep, it's silence. It's just you hear the smoke and the fires crackling. It's not like an enraged inferno. You just see little portions of the keep are on fire. It's mostly smoke, just billowing out.
Well, this ain't good. So, is there any... Are they going to try to lift up the rocks, the rubble, try and remove areas, or what?
You can try.
All right, yeah, I'm going to try to pick up any loose rocks I can, try to search for things.
Why don't you roll a survival roll, and your DC is going to be 16.
What's the survival?
Survival or like strength to see if you can move these rocks and stuff.
I don't like strength because he's not just trying to move rocks. He's trying to search.
Investigate as well.
Oh, maybe invest. I like survival.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is using strength and investigation would be survival.
Yeah.
Because it's trying to do both almost at the same time.
Yeah.
So what am I rolling?
Survival.
Survival. I like using survival. A lot of campaigns you use it.
Wisdom save, and I doubt you're going to be good at it.
No, I'm not. 12?
You're not able to find anything.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Makes you feel better. I'm not good at it either.
A little bit. So I guess we're, could presume the king and queen are dead? Is that the story here?
Maybe.
Is there anything we can use spell-wise to find something? Can your owl detect any people?
Can my owl what?
Detect people buried in stuff?
I mean, it has advantage on hearing and seeing. So if you're trying to say that maybe my owl can hear them, but I feel like you just tried to do that, I don't think that'll let me.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you guys do additional rolls to do the same thing. You guys could try to do something else, but I'm not going to let you make another roll to look through rubble. To search through the rubble, I won't let you make another roll, because you already failed.
Because then what's the point? Because then we just all just keep trying until one of us passes.
Yeah.
But this one, we're not through the rubble. We're listening at this point.
Yeah, if you're trying to search the rubble with your ears, I'm still going to say you automatically.
He's going to classify it all as the same thing.
Yeah.
Now you could try to do something else that's not searching the rubble to try to figure out what happened, but
This would be a good time to ask people what they saw. Who were the first people there? Was it just this area that was affected?
Yeah, so I'm going to stop.
Do we see anyone that's maybe not looking frantically for the king and queen? Maybe there's people kind of standing around the outside, just kind of watching and observing.
Are there any other guards standing around?
yeah, no, it's not.
Okay.
Might have your roll because there's just not.
Sure. No problem.
Everyone that's there looks frantic. No one's standing out.
So I'm going to stop one of the guards as he's running around, and I'll ask him what he saw and what he thinks happened.
He says, "Oh, Bharrik, it's good to see that you've returned. We were just it was a normal day. A few hours ago, we were just going about our business, and all of a sudden, the entire city was rocked with this explosion coming from the keep. We don't know what happened, but it was like the whole castle itself exploded. There was no warning or anything."
When's the last time you saw the king or queen?
So about a fortnight ago.
Has anyone seen them recently? Before the explosion? Do we know if they were in there?
There hasn't been any news about them being missing or about them going on a trip anywhere. As far as I'm aware, they were in the castle.
Are any other kind of secret passages underneath the castle?
I'm sure there are.
You think it's possible they made it out?
I hope.
Do you know where any of these passages lead to?
Or how to get to them?
I wouldn't, but if you speak to someone in the gatehouse, they would probably know. The soldiers that are more higher ranked than I am, they would probably know where the secret passages go.
Well, actually, wouldn't I know where the secret passages are?
Probably. Yeah, you would.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go find a secret passage.
Well, before we do any of that kind of stuff, let's hit up some of these keeps real quick before we start getting involved and going down a rabbit hole.
Why don't we have Bharrik roll a history to see if he remembers where the secret passage was.
Sure.
Your DC's 12. No, DC's 10. So if you fail it, you don't remember. You know that you know where it is, but you don't remember where.
Yeah.
If you pass it, you'll
It's
remember.
been so long, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's something that's not used commonly.
Yeah, I don't know.
You failed.
4.
Yeah. So you remember.
4.
You
Trogdor. Dick.
You remember that there is a secret passage, and that you were shown where it was, but it's never used, and it's been so long since you were shown that you don't recall where exactly it is.
4.
Well, you're rolling as shit. You can't roll fucking
Awful.
dice to save your life. Literally!
Awful.
You literally can't save your life to roll the dice.
I gotta stop using this for fucking rolling everything.
Stop rolling on that thing! You feel
I
everything!
use it all the time.
You
it's
feel
fine.
everything!
Yeah, I don't know how you pass everything. I fucking fail everything.
A fucking 4, bro? What's your modifier?
0 on history.
Oh, alright.
You rolled the history?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
you-
like a +8.
Yeah, you got a +8. God damn it, now we gotta go on a whole mission to find out where the passage is, because you couldn't just fucking remember where it was. Sorry. Let's, I wanna head over to that spells shop. Or magic shop.
Okay. Which one?
Magic shop. Not the potions one. Okay.
Alright, so you see a sign that says Asakor's House of Magic. It's a modest looking shop. And Bharrik recalls that Asakor is a well-respected and pious man who is in great confidence with the king.
So maybe we'll try to find him too.
So you walk in and you see there's many guards in the room. You are familiar that Asakor, who owns 2 shops in the town, has a litany of guards. They're really mercenaries. They don't work for Ironbridge. He pays them. They're private security, and that he
So they're doing a bang up job.
well,
They don't
his
participate.
shop is fine. Yeah, they're private guards. He pays them. They have quarters in his shops. They live in his shops, and it's like a whole fucking litany. They work shifts. So you have there's a morning shift, an afternoon shift, and a night shift. So it's like a really well-run ship of guards, and they're all dwarf. He's clean shaven. You know he's a former cleric. Behind the desk when you walk in.
A sock, what do we call it?
Asakor.
Passport. So he's behind the counter?
Yeah.
Found him.
Got him.
Got him! So I walk up to him and ask for, what happened with the keep? What do you know?
I was hoping that you. Oh, it's good to see you, Bharrik. I was hoping that you had some news. Is there anything about how the king fares? Does he still live? Anything?
He's feared missing right now.
Oh, that's horrible news.
We're hoping if you knew where remember where the secret tunnel was to.
Yeah, he just really dive right in there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, gotta get there first, and we're gonna buy some
He didn't even
stuff.
say hi.
There's a secret tunnel. Tell me more.
Anyway, yeah. So they fear the king and queen are missing. Everyone's real frantic down there. But we come to see if you had any potions or spells available.
I have all kinds of items, but before we get into that, I must ask you. So you're pretty high ranking in the government, wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
What position is it that you hold?
That top one.
Which would be?
I don't know.
You don't remember a lot of things, Bharrik.
Did I give a name or something?
No, he didn't. No, I thought you were making up on the spot.
Yeah, lieutenant. Third rank lieutenant.
Oh, the rank. Okay. I must ask you: has there ever been discussion? I know King Groudlum is still fairly young for a dwarf, but has there ever been discussion on the succession if something were to happen to him?
Don't talk to me about this.
Do we know?
Don't talk to me about this.
Do we know what would happen?
Don't talk about this.
We
He's
have
looking to take over. Don't do it.
Who's looking to take over?
You can already tell this guy. The guy with the private security.
There were talks in the
Fucking
past.
guy
But,
can't even hold it. Yeah, look at him laughing shit.
yeah, but
Don't fall trap. Don't fall victim to
there's
it.
nothing that we can discuss about that right now.
I worry for our people. That's all, as I'm sure you do.
I will talk with Fargus and he will take care of things.
I'll make them to blow the fucking place up.
So Fargus has a lot of say in who.
Ah, come on, man!
He has a lot of say in who would take over next.
Come on, man! He's dead. He just killed Fargus.
Noted.
Shut the fuck up.
Anyway, potions. What do you got?
Yeah, I got all kinds of things for sale, and he'll hand you. Well, he won't hand you. I'm going to hand you a list of what he has. He points over to his wares. And this is what he has. At this shop. But don't forget, he does have another shop for potions and shit.
Wand of Web, Wand of Secrets, Wand of War Mage, Wand of Fear? Come on!
He's got all kinds of shit. He's got scrolls. So do you have a lot of sway with Fargus? Or you and him are close, aren't you?
We have our connections.
I'll have to schedule a meeting with him and discuss the future of our kingdom if something, God forbid, has befallen the king. I mean, praise be to Barronar Truesilver, but hopefully nothing happened to the king. But if it did, something must be done.
The robe of displacement? Come on!
What's the room displacement? 28,000 gold?
Yeah, requires attunement. While you wear the cloak, it projects an illusion that makes you appear to be standing in place near an actual location, causing any creature at disadvantage on attack rolls. If you take damage, the property ceases to function until the start of your next turn. Your property is suppressed while you are incapacitated, restrained, or otherwise. That's an actual, like, robe in the game. So, things just always have disadvantage against you. Period.
That'd be good enough.
28,000? I mean, you can grab whatever you want from here, too. You know, the scrolls and stuff, because... But you just don't have money.
You wouldn't lend him a little bit of cash?
I've already lent him cash. I gave him the poison meat.
I'm sitting there chewing that.
Oh shit, forgot. I wanted so bad for you guys to not make that connection.
Yeah.
I wanted that so bad.
Yeah, because that would force us to go down the Pine Dust Peaks and up the Mage Tower's asshole. Because now we only have 7 days to live, guys.
Kevin comes back next
Very
week.
deadly.
Dead. We're all dead. Asaka, or whatever the fuck this guy's name is.
Asakor.
Is he a high-ranking person?
He's a private person. He's a private citizen. He's not in the government.
Okay.
You'd be familiar with that. But you'd also know that he has a lot of sway because not only does he own 2 shops, but he also has investments made in the weapon and armor shop as well. So he has money in that as well, and his private guards also guard that shop.
I'm not gonna get anything from here. If you want to take a look at some stuff, I mean, maybe.
Let him look.
Yeah.
All the money he has.
Yeah, the other stuff is too expensive. The only stuff that I actually want, I'm like 8,000 GP short. But if Vecni was here, talk him down, take him on a date.
That's what she does.
Fucking dinner party time.
Off around her butthole a little bit, you know. So here's the cool thing about the wands and the scrolls. You don't need to be proficient in it. Anyone can scrap that stuff and use it.
Yeah, I was guessing that, but I mean, like, Besides the absurd cost of a lot of these things.
Yeah. So, like, I think there's a wand of web in there, right?
Yeah.
So there's the spell web, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what that does is it shoots a web in an area. It becomes difficult terrain, and anyone that's caught in the web has to make like a strength or dex save. And if they don't pass their save, then they're restrained, so they can't move. There are spells in the game that I'm now targeting.
Okay.
That I know that I want. You know, and, like Radiant Sickness was one of them. That fucking shit was crazy. Like,
Yeah, you won the whole fight.
yeah, and I don't.
You did it, and
I
you won
don't
the whole
need the wand of fear when I have sickening radiance. You know.
It might be good for someone that isn't a cat, like someone like Bharrik to have.
Yeah.
That might be pretty strong.
Like the scrolls are cool too, but scrolls are one-time uses. When you use a scroll, it's it. Animate object is a really, really powerful spell. Kevin knows all about it. Featherfall sounds like what it is. When you're falling from a height, you can use it and save yourself.
It's like if you're like flying on a giant bird and you get knocked off the bird,
Yeah.
it would be good.
I'm surprised you haven't tried that yet.
Morning Kindness Faithful Hound. I don't know what that is. Scroll of Light, just cast light. Scroll of Silence, cast silence. That's really powerful against mages. So if we were going into the Pine Dust Peak here and meet some fucking mage that we know that's in there they're talking about, well, if you cast silence on an area that a mage is in, well, they need to be able to say verbal stuff with their spells. So if they can't actually talk, well, they can't cast their spells in that area.
Well, there are spells that aren't verbal.
Yeah, but none of the good ones.
Oh yeah.
There's like 5 fucking spells that aren't verbal.
Yeah.
So you can totally neuter a mage with that, with the spell of silence.
It's area of effect, though. They can move out of the area.
Yeah, but they have to do that, and they have to take their action to move out of the area.
Yeah.
So like, well, what's cool is too is that you can use the scroll of silence, right? But you can still cast a spell because you didn't cast a spell. You used a scroll.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't count as casting a spell? Oh, I didn't know that.
It's not casting.
I didn't even know that.
You're reading a scroll.
Is it an action?
Yeah, it's still an action or I think it's an action, not a bonus action.
Okay, so you still have a bonus action where you cast a spell.
Yeah, but you
So you can do like Misty Step or something if you want.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Misty Step or there's a bunch of stuff. Healing Word.
I've never heard of Spell Guard Shield. I assume it's a shield.
It's a shield.
Yeah, so if like a shield you're holding onto a shield, yeah. So if you're not like, it might be okay for you. It doesn't look like it gives you plus anything to your AC.
I don't think it does. No. Well, it would give you the basic shield AC. It would give you the 2.
Oh,
Or it would
if
give you-
that's the case, don't you have a really crazy shield right now?
I have a
Sam?
+4 shield.
Yeah, +4. So this would give you a +2. But whenever you're holding the shield, you have advantage on saving throws
And spell attacks with
against
disadvantage on it.
and
That's
spells.
pretty good.
Yeah, that for you, that's fucking crazy.
That's probably better than the 2 AC.
Yeah, I would take this over for you anyway. Having this better than the other shield that you have. This isn't good for me because I'm not proficient in shields. So it give me disadvantage and shit. I still don't get the plus to the AC, but I get the other effect, I guess.
It's not that good for you.
No, it's not.
All
Like I
that
said,
30,000 gold laying around.
Well, and there's still a weapon shop and a potion shop in the town also. So. And a secret passage that you forgot about.
With my Ford.
Alright, and end the stream.
Thanks for watching this episode of Power Word Nerd. Be sure to follow us on all social media sites.